Hello, who do I have?
I'm Eva.
Hi, Eva. I'm Nate. How are you?
Good.
Good. Appreciate you jumping on this morning. Are we waiting for anyone else, or is it just you and I?
I'm not sure. I just got the invite. I set up the meeting last week for a demo.
Okay. Well, I was asking if anyone else on your side is joining.
No, just me.
Just yourself?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we can keep this pretty brief, pretty simple. That's the nice thing with Swipeclock is our system's very user-friendly. It's all cloud-based, so it's just accessed by the internet or mobile phones. I see here that some of your employees may want to use a mobile phone. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have a system in place now? Clockify? Are you still using that?
No, it's not up to our standards.
Okay.
Customer service is very poor.
Well, that's no fun.
No.
Okay. Well, so tell me a little bit more about what you need the system to do. I've got some notes here, but I always like to hear it direct, what you need the system to do. Obviously, track the time in and out, but it looks like you may need to track jobs or projects or timestamps. Tell me more of what you need to do.
Right now we need obviously to clock the time and then to job code to projects.
Okay.
That tells us like we could set up our work codes and then we could have our guys track it to the job, and that would tell us how much time they're doing on like painting doors or painting walls. Or
Sure. How many work codes do you have? Do you know offhand?
I can quickly count. We have 16.
16. Okay. And do those change? Do you add more? Do you remove any? Or is that pretty consistent?
This is pretty consistent. We did have a lot more, but we combined them to make it less complicated for the guys.
Sure. Needs to be user friendly, right? So they can reduce the amount of mistakes that they make and that they actually input it
Yep.
correctly. Okay. So I'm guessing that these are remote workers. They're out in the field. They're traveling from job to job, multiple sites a day, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we just need to track what project or what work code they're doing? Do you need to track location, have that visibility if we offered that through the mobile phone, through like geotagging or geofencing? Would that be helpful?
It might, but the issue that we've come across is that the employees don't want to be followed by GPS or have us tracking them all the time.
Sure. Yeah, that can be a bit scary if it's a constant tracking. We do not do that. So what our geotagging services allow you to track is only when employees clock in or out, or if they transfer jobs throughout the day. So
Okay.
if they clocked in and they were painting a door, it would stamp their location, just a pin drop on a Google map, and you would see their location. Then if they transferred to another location and they selected sanding or carpentry, when they made that update to their selection so we could track their time, we would get another pinpoint geotag, but we wouldn't know what they were doing in between. It would just be, here's what time they clocked in for painting the door, here's what time they clocked in for, sanding or carpentry or whatever. So
Okay.
that is an option. It's not mandatory on the mobile phone. It will still work great, still track those projects throughout the day. Um, if you just wanted to have that visibility and insight to where they are at, you can turn on a location management setting.
Also, with the geotagging, they don't want their batteries to run dead,
Yep.
as GPS would be running all the time.
Yeah, so the versions that actually track constantly, they do drain the battery. They maybe even require a little bit more data because they're constantly pinging the location
Mm-hmm.
of the employee to provide you that constant update. Ours does not do that. So ours won't drain their battery. It doesn't use a lot of their data. So it won't even affect their cellular plan whatsoever. Because again, we're only going to ping their location when they punch the clock. So it's very, very little data usage and it doesn't drain the battery. So just all things to keep in mind.
Okay.
Okay. So on top of the remote workers, do you have any inner office staff that would
Yes.
need? Okay, tell me more about them.
We have 6 of us in the office. Three of them are salary, but we think it would be beneficial to clock hours,
Okay.
whether you're hourly or salary.
Okay. Did you tell me how many were remote workers?
28.
28. Okay. Not a problem. You can input as many employees as you need into our system. So that just gives us a good baseline. And our billing is just month to month, and it's based off of employee usage. So if you have some fluctuation in your workforce, if you're hiring, or if you're letting individuals go, or if they leave the company, there's a simple way to go in there and just deactivate them. So you will see some fluctuation in your monthly invoice, right? Because we're just a month-to-month subscription. There's no annual contracts that you have to sign.
Okay.
Okay. So for the inner office staff, are you wanting them to use a computer? Or are you looking for like a traditional wall clock that you'd like to hang on the wall to have them use? Tell me your
Probably computer.
a computer.
Yeah.
Does each employee have their own computer, or would you want to use like a central workstation?
We all have our own.
You all have your own. Okay.
Yes.
That makes it very, very simple. And do they need to track anything besides just arrivals and departures?
Yeah. That would
That's it?
be, yeah, pretty much it.
Okay. Do you like to track lunches and breaks throughout the days?
We do, yes, in the office.
In the office, but not the
The
remote workers?
the superintendents out in the field, they track their employees' lunches.
Okay. So you don't want the employees to clock in and out for lunch?
We do,
You do.
yes. That'd
Okay.
be helpful.
Okay. All right. So before I jump into this, do you need anything else that you can think of that would be beneficial for me to know?
Not off the top of my head, I don't.
Okay. Well, what we'll start with is I will show you the employee side and how they will interact with the system. And
Okay.
then I'll show you the manager side where you guys will work out of to review the data, edit time cards, and then ultimately pull it out and prepare it for payroll. And speaking of payroll, how do you guys process payroll? Do you do it in-house or do you have a third-party provider that you work with?
We do it in-house.
You do it in-house. Okay.
Yes.
And do you utilize like QuickBooks or Peachtree or something like that?
QuickBooks.
Okay. Payroll in-house. Perfect. Okay. So can you see my screen all right?
Yes.
Okay. So what you're seeing on your screen right now is what your inner office staff will use. It's our web-based clock. So this is just a website that they would bookmark so that they can quickly access this page. We assign them login credentials. And if they quickly just need to clock in or out, they can hit the web clock and up will pop a clock for them to make their selection. Clocking in, clocking out. You can see that we can turn on lunch and break buttons. So if you want them to clock in and out for lunches and breaks, they've got that option. Once they make their selection, it will automatically sign them out so that if another employee needed to use that same computer by some weird chance, they would quickly be able to put in their login information and access the same clock. Okay, it's the same experience for your remote workers. So they're going to download a mobile app. They'll just go to their Play Store. It's TimeWorks Plus Employee, very simple. The login credentials will be the same. So if they ever needed to use a mobile phone and or the web-based clock, the login credentials to access is the exact same for both. Okay. Now the nice thing with our mobile app is employees can remain logged in permanently. So we'll not time them out. They don't have to clock or log in and out each time they access their mobile phone. If they want to stay logged in, when they pop open the app, their home screen will be the clock.
Okay.
Okay. So for your remote workers, we want to track jobs, right? We want to track what they're doing throughout the day. So what we're going to design is going to called clock prompts. So after they initially hit their clock in button, we're going to design, or better yet, you're going to design questions to ask them. And I'm going to imagine it's going to say work code or job, whatever you
Yes.
want that question to ask, right? And then we're going to provide them with a drop-down menu to select. Oh, let me show you this way. So we're going to provide them with a drop-down menu to find the necessary work code that represents the job that they're doing for the day, and they can quickly enter that in. And then we can track what time they clocked in, started working, and then they can clock out for the day, or if they need to transfer to a different job, we can turn on the transfer button for your remote workers. So that way, if I start at one job and I need to transfer to another location, I can just hit the transfer button. That question will pop up for me to make a new selection, right? I'm transferring from this work code, and now I'm transferring over to a different work code.
That'd be helpful.
Yes. So that will give you accurate time data of how much time they're spending working at each or on each project, essentially. And you will be able to see that right on their time card as a manager. And I'll show you that here in a moment. Okay, so it's very, very simple for the employees to clock in when they're out in the field on the go. They just pull out their phone, hit the clock in button. That question will pop up, whatever you would like to label it. Okay. And then they'll just find their necessary work code. Now, are you giving them that work code at the beginning of the day, like with an invoice number? Are you texting it to them? How do they know what they're doing that day?
The superintendents let them know where job they're going to be at.
Okay.
Day by day. And then we tell them the task, what they're going to do, and then they find it on the timesheet and let them and track it.
Okay. So are your superintendents, are they reviewing timesheets as well, or are they just in the field working with the staff members, making sure that the jobs are getting done? Are they reviewing time cards at the end of each day or the pay period?
No. They do if the employees have questions, but generally they don't review them.
Okay.
Because our timesheets are paper, and then the guys will take a picture and email it to me. And then I have to go through and print it off and make sure I got everybody's, and then I can start entering that into QuickBooks. And it's time consuming.
Yes, I imagine so. I imagine you're spending a couple of hours each week, right?
Yeah, usually about 2 hours every Monday morning just gathering timesheets and making sure I got them.
Are you doing a weekly pay schedule, or bi-weekly?
Weekly.
It's weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours every Monday. Well, we can definitely shrink that down to like 10 minutes. And then you could find a new hobby, right? So we
That'd
can
be nice.
definitely give you back some more time. Go spend with your family or friends or whatnot. This system will definitely do that for you. Okay. So there are some other cool features that the employees will have. So they've got the ability to clock in and out in their portal, whether they're online or they're on their mobile phone. They do have access to their own time card. So as they're recording time throughout the week, selecting jobs, they'll be able to track that for the pay period.
Can they see anybody else's time?
No, just their own.
Because that was one of the issues with Clockify.
They could see
We had
everyone else's time?
we had to keep upgrading to different plans in order to lock the timesheets and limit access on what they can view.
Oh, wow. No. So on our platform, each employee can only see their individual information. They will not be able to see anyone else's.
That's good.
Yes. The managers and your supervisors, you get to decide what they can see when they log into their portal. And again, that's just a website, right? So you would be the admin, I imagine. When you log into
Yes.
the portal, you're going to see all 30 employees' timesheets. You're going to be able to make edits, add information to the time card if you need to, run reports so that you can quickly get it into QuickBooks. You can also say, hey, I've got a superintendent and I want to give him access to help me prepare the time cards. But this superintendent is only over these 10 employees. So you could give him access to log in as a supervisor and only see those 10 employees and be able to help prepare those time cards. So if there are any mistakes, he can fix them. Otherwise, he is just reviewing them for accuracy and then letting you know, hey, I've reviewed these 10 time cards. They're ready to go for you. It's going to save you time. So that is an option that you will have.
That's nice.
It's just an option. I mean, and it's a standard feature, so you don't have to constantly upgrade plans. We only have one plan, and we set it up so that it works best for you, right? But we can always change it. So our system is
Yeah.
very agile, right? It's not set in stone. We've got like 50,000 clients that use this. No two accounts are the same because we actually will work with you and build it so it's tailored to your specific needs. Okay.
Okay.
So employees can send notes on their time cards. So if you do require additional information about a job or if they make a mistake, they just go find that particular day and leave a note for you. And you'll be able to see that when you look at their time card. Okay. But this will total everything out for them, how many hours they work for the day, how many hours they've worked for the week. If you
Would
pay
we?
holidays, go ahead.
Yeah. Would we be able to like round up time? Because we currently do like every 15 minutes as a quarter.
Okay. So you just want to do some rounding rules? Absolutely. So yeah, you just tell us when we build your account, hey, if someone clocks in at 8:07, round it back down to 8. If they clock in at 8:08, round it up to 8:15. Not a problem. We do that all the time.
Okay.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about holidays, and do you offer paid time off or sick leave that you would want this system to track for you?
Holidays, we pay the normal 6 major holidays. Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, Labor Day, Memorial Day, and July 4th.
Okay.
An employee gets paid holiday pay after they've completed their 90-day probation.
Okay.
We don't offer sick leave, but we offer PTO after the first year anniversary.
After 1 year. Okay.
Yeah.
And then do you
They
just
get,
go
sorry,
ahead? No, I was just gonna ask, do you give them so many hours or do they have to earn it over time?
we give them so many hours after the first anniversary and second anniversary, they get a week and they can either cash it out, use it, or save it and let it roll over.
Okay.
And then their third anniversary on, they get 2 weeks.
Okay. So how are you tracking that now? Is that all manual as well? Yeah. And when an employee wants to take a day off, are they writing it down on a piece of paper, giving it to you, and then is there a calendar?
They will either call me or email me or text me and let me know that they want to take time off, and then we go in and run a report in QuickBooks and then have to go in and see when they took their vacation and deduct it from there. And
Wow. So it's just coming at you from all angles and you have to check like multiple sources and
yeah, and then I
okay.
write it on 2 calendars. I have my own personal calendar at my desk
Oh
to
wow.
help me, and then I have a big calendar hanging up on the conference room door. That way the superintendents can see it and they can be reminded when they come in for their meetings.
Okay. Well, you're gonna like this system even more because we can streamline that whole process for you into one system. So we will tell the policy rules, right? The 1 to 2 year anniversaries, they get so much time. Once they hit their third year, they'll get more time.
Yeah.
We'll also tell the system they can roll it over, or if you wanted to run a report at the end of the year, that way for the employees that wanted to cash it out, you could simply run a report, see how many hours they have, and pay them out total. Otherwise, they can come into their portal here and they can check to see their balances. So employees will always know what they have available. So right now, do they ever come to you and say, Eva, how much time off do I have left? Can I take a week in December or do I have enough time? Does that ever happen?
Yeah, or if, like, because we are a painting company and we have exterior work, if they get sent home for a couple days because of weather, they like to use their vacation.
Sure.
Or if they're sick and they need to help cover their missing hours, they like to use a day of vacation.
Absolutely. I used to do the same thing. So what we'll do here is this is just an example where I've created multiple buckets, but it sounds like you only have one and you call it vacation, right? So they would just have one bucket, we would call it vacation. And for those that earn their PTO after the 90 days probation, we're just going to throw in that 1 week of time, right? 40 hours.
Yeah.
Now, when they need to use that time off, they have a calendar in here that they'll be able to check. Now, this calendar can be visible to it's just a single employee, or if you want every employee to see every other employee and the days that they've taken off, that is something that you can turn on, just so everyone's aware of who has what days off. Okay. When they want to take time off, they will come into their portal either through a mobile phone or through a computer and just quickly request a day off. And once they submit this time off request, you're going to be emailed. And your superintendents, if they use the mobile phone as well, they will receive a push notification. And then who is the ultimate approver of these time off requests? Does it go to a superintendent first and then to you, or straight to you? Who finally says, yes, you can have this time off?
They come to me, generally they come to me first to see how much vacation time they have, and then they will let me know and their superintendent know
Okay.
what days. It also depends on who it is. Sometimes they go to their superintendents first.
Okay.
And other times they come to me first.
Okay. Well, the way that our system works, it's designed to streamline the alert process. So your superintendents, they can download a manager mobile app and receive a push notification and an email notification when an employee submits a time off request. They will be able to see which employee, which day they want off, and how many hours they have available. If you want the superintendents to approve it, they can. If you just want them to be aware, but you want to be the final approver, you will receive an email as well letting you know which employee requested days off and how much time they have available. In your manager's portal, there's a time off request section where all of those requests come in. You also have a calendar, so you can check to see which employees have what days off so you don't understaff yourself. And then once you approve those time off requests, the superintendent will be notified and the employee will be notified by an email. And then their vacation time will automatically populate on their time card. Their totals in here, in their bucket, once they take that day off, will automatically reduce by the amount of hours that they've requested. So everything is automatic, and all notifications go out to everyone that needs to be notified of paid time off requests.
Okay.
Sounds more complicated than it is. It's really, really simple. I just don't want to make sure that I want to make sure I explain it very easily, because it's very simple. So they won't have to come to you. They won't have to ask you how much time off they have available. They can come in here, quickly look. And again, they can do it on their mobile phone too. So all of this can be done through a mobile phone.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the employee side. It's the same whether they're using a mobile phone or if they're jumping online using a computer or a tablet. It all works the same way. So they've got the option to do both. Do you have any questions at all? How employees use the system?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Just watching and learning.
Right. It's very user friendly. I use the mobile app every day on my phone for multiple stuff. So it's very simple. Let me shift gears and go to your manager's portal. So this is where yourself, any other teammate that helps you with payroll, even your superintendents, if you want to give them access into here, but limit what employees they can view, that's completely up to you. Okay, so this is just a website again, so you can be at the office, you can be at home, and get real-time information, because the moment employees clock in through a computer or a mobile phone, this system will update in the time card section. So I could click on today's entries and see real-time information of when employees are arriving. I'll also be able to see what jobs they're selecting, right, when they are clocking in. If they're transferring jobs, you'll be able to see that information as well, right? What
It
job they
updates in
started
real
at.
time.
What was that? I'm sorry?
It updates in real time.
Yes, it does.
Awesome.
Yep. And it's also going to break down in real time how much time they're spending on each job. So you can actually see that throughout the day. Bill worked 3 hours painting doors, and then he worked the remaining 5 hours sanding or carpentry, right? Whatever your work codes are. I'll also show you a report that you can run once a week, and it will automatically break that down for you. and then you can quickly throw that into an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay.
Okay, so it's all very, very simple. Now, you yourself, you'll notice that you've got the edit and add buttons. So if you ever noticed a mistake, or if you're reviewing an employee's time card and I needed to change a time that they arrived, if they accidentally selected the wrong job or work code, I could come in here and change that as well. So every line item on every employee time card, you have the ability to change and edit and update should you see a mistake or anything like that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Were you able to do that in the previous system?
I could go in, but it would only let me do number of hours.
Oh, so you couldn't change like what time they arrived, what time they left. You could just change the amount of hours.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like it would show me when they clock in and clock out, but when I'd go in and edit, it wouldn't let me change the hours. It was only like 4 hours or 8 hours or total hours.
Interesting. Well, in here you can do either or, whatever you would like to update, because everything is going to be totaled out for you as employees accumulate hours, right? Now, the only time it won't is when an employee, if they happen to forget to clock out or clock in for the day. So we're going to tell the system when your workday starts and when it ends. And at the end of that workday, if an employee has forgotten to clock out, the system is not going to keep accumulating hours and roll it over into the next day. It's going to say, okay, as of 11 p.m., this employee forgot to clock out, so now it's just a missing punch. Okay, so now you would say, oh, I don't know what time Harry here, I don't know what time he left on Monday. Once I find out, I can click the edit button and say, okay, he left at 4:30 p.m. and I'm just going to leave a note because he just forgot to clock out. And then you hit save, and that mistake is now corrected. And I can see his total hours worked for the day. Okay, now when they use a mobile phone, let me show you that. You will get this little bubble icon next to every punch where they used a mobile phone. And that bubble will turn colors based on what we're tracking. Okay, so I can click on this bubble here and it will open up the map, a Google map, and it shows me their location, which has been pinpointed on a map.
And it doesn't track, it stops tracking them the moment they clock out.
So it doesn't track them constantly, right? So I can show you. So at 9:09, it pinged his location, and here's where he was, right? And it gives me a physical address. Okay, so I only know where he was at 9 o'clock at night. Then the next morning he clocked out at 5. It's going to show me his location where he was at 5. So in between 9 and 5 a.m., I have no idea where this employee went, where he traveled. I only know where he clocked in and where he clocked out. So it's not going to constantly track them throughout the day. Okay, now that is optional. That's if you wanted the location management settings. And the main reason that clients do that is they want the ability for their employees to use their mobile phone, but they want to ensure that, hey, I want to make sure that when you do clock in, you're not clocking in from home when you're supposed to be at this job site working. So that's the main reason that our clients turn this feature on. is they want to ensure that employees are at the right location at the right time doing their job. But it's not mandatory, right? So if you don't want that feature, that little icon will just turn gray and there'll be a line through it. That way you can see, okay, the employees are using their mobile phone, but I'm not capturing their location. So I have no idea where they're located at in the area. And that's something that you can turn on in the beginning, or if you want to turn it on in 3 months or in 6 months, completely up to you. It's whatever works best for you and your staff.
Okay.
Okay? So the goal is just to give you that insight. But if you don't really need to track where they're at, then you'll still get that bubble. It'll just turn gray and there won't be any details if you click on it.
And if they go to different job locations and transfer their job sites, it will ping them there too?
Yes, absolutely. Yep. So it only pings them when they punch the clock. That's it. So if they clock in and out for lunch, it'll ping them. They clock in and out for the day, it'll ping them. If they transfer, it'll ping them.
Okay.
That's it. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Let me jump to the time off request. So that's near the top under the main menu here. So as I mentioned, that whole process will be streamlined. So you will have a digital calendar now that you can reference, and it will show you all the days that employees have taken off. There'll just be a little check mark in the box that you can hover over, and it will show every employee. When the time off requests come through, they just sit in a pending state because they need to be approved by you or their superintendent.
Okay.
Okay. Now the nice thing is when those requests come through and you expand these boxes, it's going to give you all the information you need to make a quick decision. So when the request was made, which employee wants the time off, the day or days that they want off, how many hours they're requesting, and then how many they have available. So there's no guesswork.
Be easier than how we're doing it now.
Much easier, much faster. And everyone will have a central system that they can access, right?
Yep.
Once it's approved, it's going to the system's going to send out an email to the superintendent if you want, and also to the employee saying, yep, congratulations, we gave you the day off. Or if you decline it, it'll say, sorry, this has been declined. Okay, and then that vacation day will automatically populate on the employee time card and show up in the reports that you're going to pull out to enter into QuickBooks.
Okay.
Okay, so it's just going to make everything much more streamlined. Okay, any questions so far about anything?
Nope.
No, it's really, really simple. And the best part is we build your account for you. So we put all your employees in here. We tell the system what your pay cycles are, what your work week is. And then once it's all built for you, we train you in the system.
That will be helpful.
Yeah. So we
Because
don't just,
Clockify did not do that.
yeah, it's learning a new system can be overwhelming, but ours is very user friendly. But we want to make sure that when you sign up, it's a smooth transition, right? We just don't say, hey, congratulations, here's your portal, off you go, good luck. No, we don't do that. We help you every step of the way.
I stressed out so much just trying to set up Shopify.
Well,
I was getting irritated and angry, and
oh, I'm sure. Well, leave that stress to us. Like I said, you'll work with professional reps that'll build your account, get everything all ready to go for you. So you don't have to do anything other than give us a little bit of your time to explain how we need to set it up. And then we set it all up for you, and then we train you, and off you go. So it's very simple to get started. Okay? So the last thing, we've got about 15 minutes left, is I wanted to show you the reports. Okay. Now you do get 19 reports. They're all extremely simple to use. It's just what do you want to see and how do you want to see it? Okay. So you can run reports for PTO totals. So at the end of the year, if I wanted to come in here and run a balance to see here's how much PTO my employees have left. Here are the ones that want to be paid out. I just ran a simple report and it'll show you how many hours each employee has to either roll over or to be paid out at the end of the year. Okay, it literally took me like 30 seconds to run that report.
yeah.
Right? Super simple. You've also got the summary report. This one is probably the most common because all it's doing is summarizing the pay period and the total hours worked for each employee. We can also specify all of the job and all of the different work codes. And it will break down for you how much time each employee spent working on a particular work code.
When we get new jobs added, would I have access to add them to the system?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. So we can give you access into being able to modify that job code list, either add or remove as you need to. Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, the summary report I just ran took me 30 seconds. I can see how many hours the employees worked in the week or, the 2 weeks or the month, and then how much time they spent working at each job site. But in your case, it would be a work code.
It would be both. We
Not
would
a
have
problem.
job sites and then they would track their work codes to that job site.
Okay. So just similar to what I have here, you've got job and location. So same
Yes.
exact, right? You could call them something else, right? You could say job site and work code because you control, what that question says. But
Okay.
exactly what I've got here, right? So I can
Yeah.
see the job sites and the locations and the job that they actually did throughout the day. Right? Now you can get more detailed ones if you'd like. So you've got your labor report. This will show you the same information, but we can break it down even further. And this will just show you how much or what jobs were worked through a specific date range. I didn't show hours on this one, but if I wanted to, I could throw the hours onto this one. But this just says through this pay period, here's the jobs that were worked on. So there's a report that will show you all sorts of different information. Do you just want the data without the time, or do you want the data with the time worked for each employee? And during training, we'll show you which reports will be the most beneficial for you to run. And again, they're all very, very simple, right? I just click the summary report, select the date range, and then I just add the information that I want to see on the time cards or on the report. And then I just hit submit. Yep.
So it can be very detailed or just limited information that I need?
Uh-huh. So you can get extremely detailed or you can be less detailed, just depending on what you're looking for.
Okay.
Okay. And then each one of these reports up in the top left-hand corner, you can print, you can quickly throw it into an Excel spreadsheet just by one clicking a button, and it will break all that down for you into a spreadsheet. Now, do you use QuickBooks Online or QuickBooks Desktop?
Desktop.
Desktop, okay. Do you have a sample report that you could send me? Do you ever run reports in QuickBooks?
Yes.
Okay, because the goal is to be able to save this report in a specific format to get it into QuickBooks. And there's a 50-50 chance that we've got one already made. And what changes is the naming conventions on these headers. They need to be in the right format for us
Mm-hmm.
to save it and then quickly import it into QuickBooks, right? The goal is we don't want you manually typing the data. We want to save this report, open up QuickBooks, hit import, and it throws everything in there for you automatically. That's the goal.
I don't know how to import into QuickBooks.
No, that's okay. I think I've
I
got
know
some
how to
instructions.
export.
You know how to export? I
Yeah.
think I've got some instructions I might be able to send you. But if you've got a sample report so we can see these headers and how they're laid out, that would be extremely helpful. But I'm almost fairly certain that we could be able to reduce the manual entry that you do now.
Would you want a payroll report?
I just want to see a report with these headers. A payroll report would work, and you can X out all the sensitive information because I'm not worried about that. I just need to know the layout, the format.
Okay. And you want me to do that after we get off here?
Yeah, I'll send you a follow-up email, just
Okay.
kind of recapping our call today. I did record it, so I can include a copy of that if you want to share it with your team.
Okay.
And then the only thing left is just the pricing, which our pricing is extremely simple. So it's just a month-to-month subscription. There's no annual contracts for you to sign. The cost is $4 per employee per month. Okay. The only other fee that you have is just a one-time setup and training fee, and that would cost you $163 one time.
And the training, is it just for one person or whoever?
It's for as many people as you want that are managers that are going to be working in the managers portal.
Okay.
It's just a complimentary call. Most of the time they're 1 hour, sometimes they go 90 minutes. And after they build your account, they will train you in your own environment. So it'll be your own employees. All of your rules and everything will be designed in here. And then after the training, you'll just say, okay, we would like to start, January 1st or January 4th. And then they just give you all the passwords, send you all the recorded trainings, and off you go. Very, very simple.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have a timeline in mind? Were you looking to get started soon? Beginning of the year?
Probably after the beginning of the year.
Okay. Not a problem. We can easily do that. Our average setup time is between 7 and 10 business days this time of year because we're just extremely busy with new clients like yourself wanting to get signed up. Okay.
That's
So here's what I'll do. I will send you over a DocuSign, which is just the cost proposal, and it will
okay.
show the cost that we just talked about laid out for you. And I'll send over a recap of our call today. If you would like to get started, all you have to do is sign that proposal, send it back to me. and then I'll reach out to you and let you know what next steps are. But again, it's very simple, right? We do all the legwork, we build everything. It's just scheduling time to review how we need to build your account. So
Okay.
if that's yourself or if you've got other team members that need to be involved, we want to get them on the call as well.
Okay. I
Okay.
do have a couple other conference calls with other different apps.
Sure.
And then I was going to get with my team next week and discuss all options and what we feel would be best.
Okay. Would you like to schedule a follow-up call with me, or just would you like me to check back the end of next week and see where you're at?
We can schedule a follow-up. That's fine.
Okay. What day would work best for you?
Wednesday morning or Fridays?
Wednesday. Do you want to do next Wednesday at this same time?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'll send over just a meeting invite, and we can review. I can address any other information or any other questions, or if you want to get signed up, I can walk you through it.
Okay.
All right, Eva. It was a pleasure talking with you today.
Yeah, thanks. Same to you.
Okay. Watch for my email. If you have any other questions, let me know, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right. Have a nice day. See you later.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.